Red. Did we do this color yet? Let's see. Hey, hey. It's raining a little bit and avoiding the tourists, but you can see one over there is being killed by a Viking kid. You can pay extra for that. No, it just started raining. I've been running, so I'm a little out of breath. And he beat him up while he's barefoot. So, just evacuating the tourists from the village, and you can see there's a little bit of rain coming in. And there's a Karl. Hello, Kiwi. I see others too. Let's see. Let's turn this around, and then you could hear Karl. Join the dark side.
What do you want, woman?
We have cookies. I look like a druid. Do you have a cup?
No.
I have beer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a glass?
I can go and get one.
A horn? Anything? I have beer.
I don't like your face.
I have no idea. One of them's in a box. The other one you should like.
Mm.
One of them was from Audra.
Then I'll go and get the glass.
Yeah, you get a glass. Okay, so we're hiding out of the rain a little bit. There goes Karl. Watch him go. Work it, Karl. Work it. There you go. Beautiful man. Okay, so hopefully somebody's following along better than I am. Oh my gosh, it's dark. There we go. Have we done? We haven't done the York stitch yet, have we? And we haven't done red? Can't remember. But anyway, if we have done red, then we can make it purple. It's kind of a maroon, but this is red. Anyway, so this is my stash, old stash. Eskimo. This is an easy yarn to work with if you don't pull too hard because it's a lopey. But it's a nice and thick yarn, so you can use this one for the Oslo stitch. So I'm going to use this one for York, and we can just start with needle binding right now while we're waiting for tourists to get out. But I think I've got these at some sort of use up sale or like bag sale. So this is probably an outdated color, 50, whatever that was. I'm pretty sure this is like 6 years old. I think this is pre-pandemic, this yarn. I did finish almost the last of my favorite yarn, Sulka. We can show what that one looks like. So this is all the Sulka I have left. A little bit of ball of blue and 2 small pieces of pink. So it's not going to be enough to make a hat, but I don't know what I'll do with it yet. But until I find some more Sulka, that is all I have left. It's one of my favorite yarns. It's by Mirasol. It has not been in production for probably about 10 years, but I love it. It's 20% silk, 20% mohair, and 60% merino, and I really, really wish they would make it again. They made something close called Mitzi for a while, but it was plied and just not the same. And I don't know what they have now, but whenever this one comes available, secondhand, I buy it, or on the secondhand shops or something. But these hats, I'm having a hard time keeping them in stock here because we have Anders Hovland in the village. And Anders Hovland, let's see what to do let the hair down. He wears pointy hats. So when he's in the village, I have to make more hats with points on the top. They're very happy to see you. Anyway, so that's what these are. But I have to make some more of these now. So this York one is going to be a hat like that too. This is how... mind the plastic. I managed to use it up. I had a little bit, you can see there's a dark blue in there. There's like a dark blue ring that goes here. This is a spiral, by the way. And there's a little bit of dark blue here that starts there and ends there. That is all of that dark blue I had left. So the idea then was to stripe it in. This is all the white I had left. And it was just a hair long, so I was able to flip it up. But I wanted to use up all the white. And if I didn't have enough, that white would have turned a little bit of pink at the end, but it didn't need to. But I like swirls because it's a good way of, swirls or spirals, because it's a great way of getting rid of leftover yarn or small pieces of yarn. As long as you have more of that yarn in a different color. Okay, so York it is. Let's see, did I have one that doesn't? Yeah, we'll take this one. So this is a Lopi yarn, which means it is a single ply yarn. We were in Bergen yesterday, and I got to go to Panduru, which has all the Eastex Alafas yarns, Alafas Lopi and Let Lopi. Oh my God, the new color, the colors that they got are wonderful. It's the first time I actually got to see them and touch them in person. I did not buy any because I know that yarn well enough to buy it online. Is it called Drop Snow now? Yep, that makes sense, because I was going to say Drop Snow is almost exactly the same. But anyway, it's a Lopi. The reason it's called a Lopi is because there's no ply. Yep. Sorry to hear about it, but you know the code for this? I want to say 793. Okay. Yeah. I want to say that. Karl's going to be back in a minute, though, so he can do it, too. Oh, we have Albert the Beautiful here, by the way. We have to take a photo of him. Let's see. Turn, turn, turn. Other way, other way. Wait for the reveal. Wait for it. That's me, not him. Just a minute. There! Albert the Beautiful and Harold. Okay, Jan Harald the Hairless. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? And there's Olaf in the back. So Albert, he was featured in what it's like to be a teenager in the Viking age, which he said is absolutely wonderful. And this is what it's like to be older than a teenager in the Viking age. He used to have the most beautiful set of hair, people. No, just kidding. No, it's Jan Harald. We love him. He does all our fun stuff for us. Okay, back to needle binding. I have to say hi when you're here. Okay, so we'll get a bit of this wool off. And there we go. Okay, put that away for now. Let's see. Okay, a little out of breath, but that's because, of course, I wait to do everything last minute. So for this one, like Oslo, you need 2 loops. This is a pretty good beginner stitch if you can handle the twist. It is really easy to have this one flip. So there's the end. We'll make a 1 loop, put it on a thumb, and we need 2. So go under everything, pull through, and now you have 2. Now, did you see the way that I pulled it through? That new one to get a new loop, I went right behind everything. That's all we're going to do from now on. So go under everything, pull through. This is York. And then take the old one off. Out of the way, do it again, under everything. So as long as you have just 2 loops. A lot of people are going to want to after tension this stitch. Under everything. But it is a it's an easy stitch, but it's a very twisty stitch, which is usually what drives people nuts. So now 3, get rid of 1, go under everything.
One of your freemen are looking for charcoal to barbecue.
In the hallway, sorry. I think it's only 1, but there should be some more next to the grill. Yeah, but if there's any extra bags, it's because we didn't use it up. So just go ahead and grab that too. But it's in the hallway by the Freeman door. Thank you so much. He's going to start up the grill so they can have a little gilda because the village is full again. That means all the houses are full. Okay, old way. But Karl is sober. That can't be right. Okay. We're going to come back to this for a minute. It doesn't look right if I make the last loop big so I know where I was. Pull. Everything goes into place. But you see the first thing it wants to do is twist. That's the hard part with York. You have to kind of force it. We'll keep playing with this in a minute. Until then, look at this poor desperate guy. So you want to start with a mystery beer, or you want to start with something outer brought? Mystery beer.
Audra would give me
Nah. Audra likes you. I think she'd give you some good beer. Okay, so. Oh, I was going to say, well, there's some good chat there. Okay, we have to say hi on chat too. Mystery box number 22 of the 2024 Christmas calendar, or 2023 Christmas calendar. Are you ready for it? It could be crap. Do you think it's got mangoes? No, it's a straw man. So Scarecrow.
So what? does it
Nice,
have?
I'm scared, Karl
Jaws?
Strauman. I don't know, it's 4.7. It says hveteøl er en klassisk tysk hveteøl med et høyt innslag hvetemel. Av mange vurdert som det perfekte sommerøl. Vi har gått langt for å skremme bort konkurrentene. Og dermed sikre oss den beste hveten på åkeren. Ølet er gjæret på høy temperatur for å gi det et fruktig preg. So what this means is it's a white beer, or no, it's a wheat beer. It's a classic type of classic German wheat beer with a high amount of wheat malt. Of the many who have evaluated the perfect summer beer, we have gone a long way to scare away the competition. And therefore, we have guaranteed us or obtained the best wheat on the whole field. The beer is then gjæret, was that yeasted? Fermented at a high temperature, which gives it a fruity taste.
Yeah, as long as I don't actually put fruit in it, I think that should be fine.
Yeah. Let's put the camera a little lower so you can see more background.
It's foaming enthusiastically.
That's what she said.
Why?
It's a lot of foam. That beer's all head.
Yeah.
Might have been a little shaken up on the way here. I think it was somewhat kind of a yellowy see-through. Did you get anything other than foam? I suspect
It was mostly foam, but I can say the fruity taste here. Usually when I say fruity taste, you end up with a beer that smells like perfume and tastes worse. This tastes like beer.
Jay's going to question if you washed this cup or not before you took another. Did you wash the cup?
The cup was even wet when I brought it here, woman.
Okay, but did you wash it or did you just kind of sprinkle something wet on it?
I washed it.
Okay.
Sprinkled something wet on it.
That's what she... All right. And did you like it that you don't taste much fruit, you said?
No, it's beer that tastes like beer and looks like beer and smells like beer and acts like beer.
So it's probably a beer?
Yep.
Yeah. Or a wine cooler. No. They didn't have wine coolers in Norway. That was like a huge thing in the 90s.
Yeah, but you don't drink it after you pass 14.
No. Okay. Then we'll let him drink that. And there we go. So we don't look at my beautiful thing, my beautiful water bottle over there. Okay. So Nella's here. Garcia's here. I think I saw Albert in there. Audra's here. Yep, there's Albert. Audra's just on her way back from Sevilla, so welcome home soon, if not already. Albert said he just might be stopping in as he's on his way to town. Samantha Harrington, lovely cover photo today. Why, thank you. I damaged that archery set all by myself. You see where they're standing? Okay. In the nighttime, they like to stand at this distance to hit the target over there. This, unfortunately, I don't know. I'm taller than Barnard, but much shorter than, and Olav then, but much shorter than Albert. And imagine shooting from there and hitting the sign. Last time we had a competition, I hit the C. That's why it's still chipped up there. This time I hit the R. You're supposed to hit that thing. I'm trying to spell something out, says Karl, or suggests Karl. No, anyway, I have a failure. But we can watch them for a minute and I'll keep reading. All right, let's see. So that was my cover photo today. There's nothing else you can do but just proudly own that you suck at archery. I'm really good at axe throwing because I did actually win the competition with axe throwing that day.
Thing, but in the opposite direction.
Did he? Oh yeah, he shot it up. Yeah, no, that's not right either. Jose did that though. Har du sett min, Olav? Har du sett det jag gjorde? Den gjorde jag. This I did in May. And that one I did there. Albert's trying to convince Olav that he has to do punishing sit-ups, or no, in the age that he is. One sit-up, what is it, one sit-up or push-up for every year? You have a bet? Oh, if he hits it up there, then he has to do it, yeah. Yeah. And Olav says he's not falling for that trick. As many push-ups as he is old, he should do because he hit the top thing. But anyway, okay, Karsten and Dordo are here. Amro is here. She's trying to cook and watch this episode at the same time. Oh, good. We started with needle binding for you. Susan Youngman is here in the Adirondacks. Kiwi from Bergen. Heidi Lisette is here. Oh, and Samantha, by the way, is in Missouri. Nella's in Finland. She'd never seen Eskimo on a skein. It is not like this, though, by the way. The Eskimo does not come like this in a hank. It actually comes in like a skein of a ball, just, I mean, the regular skeins. But I put them in a hank because they look better hanging in the Viking house than a modern skein. Hey, Karl.
Considering that you are that's what she said, woman, you should probably not say the sentence, the Eskimo doesn't come like this.
Okay, for those who didn't hear Karl's brilliant words of advice, would you like to say that again?
That's what she said, woman, should probably not say the Eskimo doesn't come like this.
Yep. What happens in a Viking village stays in a Viking. I think we have an Eskimo back there today. Okay. Nope. Anyway, so I skeined it so that it would... let's take the water bottle out of the way here, too. I skeined it so that it would look better hanging from the wall. A bit like... let's see. Oh, no, yeah, there you go. Ah, wrong way. There we go. So they hang like that in the houses anyway, because if you see a big modern skein, it won't look right. But those ones are okay. All right. Let's see. Then we'll catch up more here, and I'll do a little bit more York. But yeah, Drops is rebranding the whole yarn, says Nella, she thinks, because the name is problematic. Yeah, that could be. We're in a very woke age. Did I like the hat? James Steele wrote something, and then he's working on a sweater. There it is. Hi, Karin and Karl. I'm working on a sweater in Billum with over my legs. And Billum with over my legs and with a skein of yarn and working yarn. So is the sweater's going to be over your legs? That's going to be very, very long. But very, very warm. It could be a snuggie kind of thing. It would be really, really warm. Kiwi says, I've taken a break from working on my needle-bound pants since I've got a spinning wheel in the mail this week, so I'm trying to learn how to spin. Karl, you asked what I would want. Spinning wheel. E-spinner, though, I think. Yeah, we don't have room for a spinning wheel. The E-spinner, they're like, it's almost like, it's just a little spinning wheel, like about this size anyway, and you can only do a certain amount at a time, but you just plug it into a USB drive or a USB port, and you can, I said that's something wrong. You're just waiting to bash me.
It's probably correct. It just sounds nuts to me.
Yeah, no, but you could even work on it in the car if you're not driving. If you're not the one driving.
You don't just want me to download Spinning Simulator 3000 from Steam or something?
No, because that's digital spinning. I want to do it for real.
With a USB?
No, you just plug it in there as a form of electricity, the USB port.
Ah.
So you could use it. You could do it from the computer anyway, and then you get like 2 extra spools to go with it, so that you can ply your wool after too. But you can only do like a real small amount at a time, probably 25 grams. But it wouldn't take as much space in my big yarn I mean, the yarn room is full, and now we have an orc room in development. Yep. See.
I just need 2 actual orcs to carry the table up the stairs.
Yeah, no, we do need orcs. Oops, sorry. I'm gonna make everybody sick here with all this spinning around. I am bound and determined to have my Imsdal bottle in the way. Okay, back to York. But no, I think I don't know. I would love to do a spinning wheel. I do have a spinning wheel, but it's missing a piece or something. Another way to do York, by the way, is if you have only one on your thumb instead of the second, would be to go that way through the old loop, and then under everything. But the easiest way is to just leave 2 on the thumb and go under everything.
If you get any good non-textile related questions, I would be happy to drunkenly try to answer them.
Karl wants to drunkenly answer non-Nalbinding related questions. I would say this would probably be Viking age related, or you just want orc questions now?
Who cares?
Okay.
Just, ask me anything.
So Karl, turning this to you again. You can probably come out of the sun now. I mean, out of the rain now. It's not raining anymore.
And then
It's just fog. It's just smoke. But they can sit out a little bit and they can see you better. Torben gave you a task.
what now?
Come sit over here so we can see you. Take the stool too. It's a little dark under here. Torben gave you a task. We went to Bergen. You completed this task by going to the Outland Gaming store.
Yeah.
And what did he want you to buy?
He wanted me to buy a Werewolf 5th edition.
What's Werewolf 5th edition for those of us who don't speak geek?
It's a World of Darkness role-playing game where you are playing werewolves.
Yeah?
But, oh, what have they done to this franchise?
Sorry, Torben.
I don't know, Torben, if you have read it or not.
That's the face he makes when he watches Vikings TV series.
Trying to be nice because I have managed to get her live stream shut down once and I am trying not to do it again. But
I'm glad you're admitting that now.
it is not good. Fianna, Ghetto Fenris, Vendigo, Uctena, all removed, probably because they're not politically correct. So, Nazi Norwegian werewolves, drunken Irishman, very, very angry North American Indians, and kind of magical South American Indians are not something we can talk about anymore. Even if they are werewolves, apparently.
So it's a woke werewolf. This is my new word, woke. I read it. I know what it means now. Is it a woke werewolf?
I don't know if that is the thing, but it is kind of related to that thing,
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
Yeah, and also metises don't exist anymore. I have no idea why.
Methodist? Is it like Methodist or
If in Werewolf with 2 werewolves bang, the kid kind of gets an overdose on the werewolf gene. So he turns into a metis, which is a werewolf, but a werewolf with some issues.
So, you didn't like the book?
No.
This is like don't mess with the original for you?
Very much so, yes.
Yeah. So, the point system, everything, does that all work the same, or
No, there are some changes.
is everything nerfed?
No, well, the werewolves are more... They're less powerful than they used to be. But that's not really an issue. It's like, okay, so you can just murder like 5 guys instead of 10 guys on a tank. That's just a powering issue. That doesn't really matter that much to me. But,
So do you want to play with Torben anytime soon?
yeah, but 4th edition then.
4th edition, old, go back to the old?
Yeah. It's like, if something isn't broken, you shouldn't try to fix it.
I don't know if Torben's watching, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, this...
Okay, so now that little rant you just saw where he's, like doing facial contortions and looks like he's extremely constipated, that's what he looks like when he watches a Vikings TV series. We usually pay for that kind of entertainment.
No, it's...
You did everything but the face palm, or maybe you did.
I'm also trying to not go completely angry nerd. So I am kind of holding back a little bit. But I am, to put it mildly, not happy with this product.
So the Scarecrow beer is doing its thing.
I barely touched the Scarecrow bear because it's just foam.
Yeah. Oh, there's a question for Karl. from Outer, how common was it to have a horse-drawn carriage in Viking times?
It was probably a status
That's a
thing.
good question.
Remember, they have no roads, pretty much. So unless you live in the flatlands, so it's probably more common in Denmark than in Norway as a general rule. But in Norway, it would be in the flat parts of Norway. If somebody living in Gudvangen, you can just pan out to show what it looks like around here.
Yeah. There maybe. Yeah.
Bought a horse-drawn cart for any other reason than maybe if you have, you could maybe use it like a tractor. When you are harvesting grain, you have your oxen or your horse pulling a cart, so you just fill it with grain. But even that seems like overkill. And you have no roads, so you can't really move it to your, you can't get it to your neighbor even. And that is even if you live down here. Just imagine, we live 3 kilometers up the valley, so in that direction.
Under those avalanches over there.
Yeah, and I would say that unless the roads were a lot better than I think they were, getting a cart from down here to up there in the Viking Age would be close to literally impossible. So I think,
Especially with all the avalanches.
yeah, the avalanches, and also
Only in the
there
west,
would be
but yeah.
there wouldn't be anybody clearing up the avalanches.
No.
So the Vikings would have to deal with thousands and thousands of years of avalanches, which is what we in Norway call steinreis.
So do you think in the Viking Age they knew what an avalanche was caused by, or did you think it was just maybe a pissed off act of Thor?
Oh yeah, and then I knew what they were caused by.
Yeah.
They were caused by Egil Skalla Grimson. No, they were caused by Erik the Red, I mean.
Yeah? Okay.
Or his trials.
So they actually, do they mention avalanches in the sagas?
Yeah.
Okay, explain. There's the story here.
I don't have the details. It's so long since I read it. But one of Erik the Red's murder sprees is caused by some trails being killed in an avalanche. That
Oh.
may or may not have been caused by him. I don't remember the details, as I say.
No, but you got homework
But
now.
obviously, avalanches was a thing. It's something. In this valley in the winter, if you are just passing through and you don't hear or see an avalanche, you are bizarrely unlucky, I would say, because they're cool to watch.
They're really cool to watch, yeah. As long as you're not under it at the time.
Yeah. But yes, obviously they knew what they were, and I probably
We've managed
had
to catch a few on YouTube,
they
and you can't
probably
find
had a
that.
good idea of what natural conditions that cause them. So when it's very wet and you get cold, so that you get frost, water expanding in crevices and breaking out ice. When it has been snowing for a long time and then it starts to get warmer, all these situations where we basically go, okay, it's going to be an avalanche day. The Vikings were not dumber than us.
Heavy
And
rain,
for them keeping track of this would be a lot more important than it was for us.
Okay, I'm gonna turn the camera here. We'll just watch Karl hang out by the shanty here.
We have to speculate about avalanches is that we are wondering if Greg and Rune will come to work.
That's right. Okay. Explain this while we look that way at the avalanche. Well, there's avalanche scraping up there.
Well, they live up at Voss, so up this way, but 45 minutes drive. And this road gets cut off by avalanches like
All the time.
all the time.
Now you can see actually where they come quite close to the road. I mean, they put up these big fences, and you think that would that looked like a joke, but it turns out it's not for the big rocks. It's for the ones that are helmet size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as my father is fond of saying,
Those are right over there.
if a rock that weighs a kilogram, or if it weighs 100 metric tons, if it hits you on the head, it's doing much the same thing.
I was gonna say these are the avalanches that Karl and I live under. There's one, and there should be one more over there too. Yep. There's one. So the house is a bit in the way, but you can see that it's loose rock.
Do I have to drink the whole thing before I get the other thing?
No, you just have to finish your glass. Are you ready for a new one, Karl? Okay, yeah, no, he's... Ready for something new? Oh my God, your hair. Yes, Viking hair. Okay, we'll get him another one. And then there's some questions in here, I'm sure. I have to put this down on a table so I can fix the poor man. Okay, so the other outer beer is not, it's not Lithuanian. She got it for you in Iceland. It's a bit related to the one you got last time. This one is Galdur. And of course it's got very Icelandic, non-Viking binder on it. Okay, so Galdur is apparently witchcraft, which you can read about, and it's witchcraft beer, 4.6. This is Icelandic, if I remember correctly, which is why they put that on everything. That symbol is like everywhere in Iceland. Okay, you can read what it is, though. I'll get some more stitches on my thumb here and catch up on chat.
It's 4.6, so it's weaker than the other one.
Yeah?
They're very concerned to point out that it's made with Icelandic water.
Mm. Oh, I did too many
And
stitches.
the other ingredients are malted barley and hops.
Mm. Malted barley and hops, okay.
And no preservatives.
I'm gonna restart this because I just remembered I was gonna make
Unless
a pointy hat.
Icelandic water counts as a preservative.
Okay.
Yeah, another thing about horse-drawn carriages.
Yeah.
They might have had an important role as status symbols. It's hard to say, but no, I'm speculating wildly based on extremely little data. But you have the Oseberg chariot.
Yes, you do, the wagon.
That one is extremely ornate and super nice.
Extremely
to the point
decorated,
where
yeah.
it's reasonable to think that it wasn't something they used every day.
Yeah.
It might have been made specially for the burial, but things like that might have had I hate the term ceremonial purpose, but it might have had a ceremonial purpose.
Mm.
So say that at the midwinter blood you take out your super nice chariot or cart and you use it to drag the Gaudi, the Volva, the ritual beakers that you collect the blood in. Something important for the ceremony is moved in this thing. But as you hear, I'm speculating wildly now. But it's too nice to be used for anything other than something like that. Oh.
Okay, that had time to settle. That's not my fault.
Yes, and also, I don't think you can blame whether or not my glass is clean for this on this one.
Was it a little foamy? He'll be picking that up, by the way. I just heard it drop. The lid. Or the cap.
The lid?
The cap. So.
The Icelandic bear lid?
Yeah. I forgot that I was going to make this a round start because I need to make a pixie hat. And I'm better at making them from the top. But then I need... This is far too loose for me.
That's what she said.
That's what he said. So I'm going to make it tighter by tensioning it to the needle. Could be okay there, Karl? I'm going to tension it to the stick. Okay, what do you think of this beer?
It foams less than the other one. I actually managed to fill my glass with this one.
Mm.
It has... do you smell a faint touch of caramel or something like that?
Yeah, actually I do. Caramel.
Which is odd with a list of ingredients, but...
It has a little caramelized hint to it, but maybe it's the barrel. Or the whatever they fermented it in.
No, it weirdly tastes like caramel, and there should be no ingredients to cause that.
No.
Unless it's the Icelandic water.
I know that if whiskey is brewed in a oak barrel, it gives it a different taste. Maybe there's something similar here.
Yeah, but... Oh, who was that? Last week, I also had an Icelandic bear. And I mentioned to somebody that I had an Icelandic bear, and they go, huh? Are they growing crops on Iceland? And I go, I honestly don't know. They might have imported it. But I think these guys are culturally dependent on bear. I don't imagine that Iceland would work for 1,000 years without bear?
No, probably not.
So I'm guessing they can grow crops there. They must be able to. Do we have any Icelandic people or anybody who's been to Iceland and seen the great crop fields of Reykjavik?
Probably we do. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera here so I can look at chat, and then I'll show you what I'm doing while we debate that. But I have to check on chat a little too, because I've been ignoring, and there's probably some questions. So now I've needle tensioned it. I did about, this is the pixie start, by the way. So I did about maybe 8 stitches there if you count the original 2. And then I need a skinnier needle to do a, what do you want to call it? A not dissected, but a round start that's done differently. Where's my needle? Oh, there it is. I have too many items in my basket here. May not proceed to the normal checkout lane. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So if I make a row, this is the right side up. It's so twisty. Okay, but this is my right side. If I go through the bottom of all of these, it's a disassembled round start. There's a word for that. I just can't think of it suddenly. They use it mostly in food. If they take like a recipe and they serve it in pieces, each ingredient individually instead of all together. Anyway, then I can thread the needle once I've gone through the bottom of all the stitches. Like that, and then pull through. And then I have a round start. Instead of having to start in the round, you can do that. But I'm starting with too many. You can see it doesn't want to go all the way around, so it'll start out pointed when I put it together and go around. So I will only increase every third instead of every one. Deconstructed. Thank you. Nella knows it. Deconstructed round start. So I've only got about 8. It's not enough to go all the way around, so this is automatically going to go like this when I put the rosette together. And I will increase every third to make sure it only increases slowly. Yeah, this is Jorvik, or York is the other name for it, yeah. But I'm going to needle tension it because I forgot I needed to make more pointed hats, so that loose thumb tension one wasn't going to do it. And then there we go. So there was 2 ways to do it. You could either go the wrong way through the back loop, and if you were like thinking Oslo, or you could just go under both. So I have one on my thumb. This is my old one. No, that's not my old one. This is my old one. I'll be right back, Karl. I'm going to turn it.
York tensioning Oslo from behind, I'm sneaking off for a cigarette.
We do not condone smoking on this YouTube channel. It's not made for children. Okay, so the thumb tension, see I took it off my thumb now. You tighten to the needle, the widest part. This is so that you don't open your stitches on the second row. And of course, if you're wearing bracelets, you might want to take into consideration that it's not very friendly with your yarn. There we go. So anyway, I'm going to continue around and only increase in every third. Then we can people watch, and I'll catch up on chat here. Thank you, Nell. Deconstructed round start. Yeah, it's an easy one. Get my little increase going here. I keep getting straw in here. It's the scarecrow. Oh my God, I have not used this yarn in a while. It feels so dry now compared to the soft sulka with the silk in it. Sulka. Maybe we can make a point. You can call it a point. Yeah, that's what we're going to make. That's what I'm going to make. So I've made a lot of these. It's the one right there with the point. If you've seen it, it's a hat. Because one guy, he's got a hat that's got a tip like that on it in the village, and he wears it all the time, and people always want one when they see that he has it. So once they see his, they're like, ooh, where can I get a cool hat like that? And so then I have to make everyone one. Although the one he's wearing is actually not one that I made. Whoop. Hug to the gimbal. 2. There we go. Okay. Now I have to catch up on chat. You find this billum with the legs. Billum with the legs. Are you putting like the whole yarn around your legs and arm and back when you're doing it? That I don't quite understand. Billum with the legs. It sounds like you're making a skein of yarn and holding your yarn as a skein. There, can people watch and Karl watch. Oh, Vikings working hard. Look at this. She's going to beat the crap out of a cow. What'd you say? Oh, yeah, the splitting headache Odin. We haven't shown this one in a while. Do you want to explain? I got to catch up on chat, remember?
This is backup Odin. Out of the original gods down there, Odin kind of lost his face.
By the chickens, yeah.
Fell off. So Karin very quickly made backup Odin, which is her.
Actually, it's a combined project. Greg carved it. I painted it. Yeah. Okay, continue.
And then Holger made the new Odin. I was busy guiding when I saw that Holger was carrying down his new Odin. So I thought, oh, I have to go and tell Holger that he has to take care of backup Odin because Karin made it, so it shouldn't go to waste. And then I come back and I see him standing here staring at Karin's textile house. And I asked Holger about it, and Holger says, yes, his head is split. He has a splitting headache. Karin talks so much. Which is true.
So he's splitting headache, although his headache is getting much, much bigger now. He's almost split in two, Odin. Okay, I'm going to turn this. We'll look up the hill. And more chat, because I think you have some more stuff in here you need to answer. Okay. All right. Let's go all the way back. Greg has a beautiful view from his house. Oh, are you at his house now, Albert? And if you are, say hello. Yes, he does have an absolutely amazing view over the Vossestrand or Voss. He lives in Voss. Hello from Tregde. Kaya's here, by the way. I meant to tell you that earlier. I saw her. Amaro had to go. She's busy. Got kids visiting. Yes, and Samantha wanted to know what kind of spinning wheel that Kiwi got. So we have to see. Okay, and then... see, that was the horse-drawn carriage. We got to that one. It's an amazing... she's a Kromsky dealer. Says Samantha's a Kromsky dealer. The Polonaise is a true beauty. So Kiwi got the Polonaise. I missed that up there, but Kromsky spinning wheels are gorgeous too. They're both beautiful. Nels's Kromsky wheels are very nice, and most of them are very beautiful. She has a minstrel, and only one complaint about the fastest whirl. Kiwi says, awesome, I'm very happy with the wheel so far. Luckily, I have space for it to bloom in her living room. That's why I have to get an e-spinner. I have no space. We're like struggling for inches now. That sounded bad. Okay. Jay Cortez is here. Maybe a lot of frost heave out of there as well. No wonder there are so many rock falls. Oh yeah, you can still see there's snow up there. So this is, we just went through a very hot July. Hottest July on record, and we still have snow up there. When you get to Voss, you can see a lot more snow up top. That's also snow over there. And I don't know if you can see the snow from here on this side yet. I'm going too fast when it's in zoom. But just up at the top, just over the ledge up there, there's snow as well. But the easiest one to see from down here is those patches. One there, one there, one there. Let's see. More people watching. Heidi can see her brother up there. Okay. A little bit further back. I lost my thing there. Oh, Roger says, what's an earthquake or volcano risk in Viking land?
Unless you live on Iceland, pretty small. But if you live on Iceland, it would be more or less a constant thing.
Although he meant it more like, what's a rock fall in Viking land? But I like that you took it seriously.
No, but...
it's true. You got to answer it. It's a question. Okay. Lindsay says, I'm introducing her roommates to this morning. We're so sorry. No, welcome, Lindsay's roommates. I think I skipped over a bunch of stuff here. Iceland, regular, says Nella. Minor earthquakes in Scandinavia, no, occasionally. Yeah, we're in the west side, so that's where this. But we're also in the deepest, narrowest fjord.
The Vikings also have a perfect explanation on what an earthquake is.
Yeah. What do they think an earthquake is?
Loki is bound underneath the ground by the intestines of his sons.
Oh, that explains so much.
And over his head, snake is dripping poison into his eyes.
Yeah.
His wife is standing over him with a bowl, collecting the poison. But occasionally she has to go and empty the bowl. And then the snake drips poison into Loki's face, and Loki will pull on his
Go ahead.
bindings.
Oh, okay. I
which
thought you were going to
causes
say something
earthquakes.
else. That would also cause earthquakes, by the way.
If she banged him.
No, if he pulled on something other than his bindings.
So every time his wife leaves, he goes and pulls on his onion.
Not for kids, not for kids. No, this is not for kids, not at all. None. Okay. That's so bad. Hi, Karl from Vipka. Hi from Sheila. I thought she says hi, Karl. She didn't say hi, Karl. She said hi to you and me, by the way. From Sheila, miss you already. We miss you guys too. She's in Germany. I have to keep looking this way because the mountains are beautiful today. Yeah, she was in that house. The one that is now extremely indigenous looking over there. It's got all these Sami type things with the reindeers and yeah, that hoodie's gotta go. Okay, Vikings did not have reindeer hoodies. Okay, anyway, new Freeman in there now. There we go. Jay Cortez says you can caramelize lots of things. Even onions get sweet if you caramelize them. This is true. That's actually, I started eating onions that way now. But so you probably could do the beer the same way. What stitch are we working on? Yeah, sorry, Max, but you figured it out. It is York. Could you see the needle binding again, said Lindsay? And I think I showed it since then, but we're going to look at it a couple more times. Weren't the Oseberg women from somewhere warmer, where there might have been a different culture for a carriage, so she might have requested one? Yes, because the Oseberg, that one was found near Tonsberg, and it's a lot flatter.
Yes.
Because it's in the Oslo Fjord.
I don't remember the exact details. There are two bodies in the Oseberg,
Yeah.
an older woman and a younger woman. And I don't know if anybody knows which one of them is the primary, which one of them is the queen that gets this great burial, and who is the servant who is just put in the grave with her.
I thought she was very decorated. I thought they knew which one was which because one was more decorated.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I might be wrong, but I don't think so.
But yeah.
So the one that is foreign might be the queen, but it might also be the servant. I don't know. But there might be new research here that I haven't read. I haven't really kept up that well.
Homework for you again. I like it when we can stump Karl. No, he's not stumped. Okay. Let's see. When using roving wool or lopi yarns, do you find that it untwists and pulls apart? It can. You can twist it, your needle. This is where a round needle might be more suitable for you, because you might be, when the way you're pulling the yarn through, you might be untwisting your yarn as you go. So you can always add the twist back in, but either way, small pulls, so it doesn't break. That's when working with the lopi yarns anyway. Samantha's been using it for hats in Oslo and has to twist her needle away to maintain the twist. I do not have that problem, but I suspect when I'm using embroidery yarn, for example, it don't twist like mad, but when I'm needle binding, I don't, so it might be the different direction of the twist.
But
Albertson Hammer.
That actually, there might be some factor like that. The problem is that we are trying to make generalizations based on like one piece of evidence. And when it comes to this particular chariot, yes, it might be something like that. That she was from the steppes of Eurasia, and in her cultures, chariots were super important, so she absolutely insisted on having one in her burial. That is possible. I can't say it's impossible.
I was going to say, Max says that's about 5 to 10 stitches in the round. I usually do 12 to 15 stitches in the round when it comes to it. I learned this technique from you, or maybe at least from Anne-Marie. You probably learned from both, but yeah, no, the reason I only have that many stitches is because I deliberately want it to go cone-shaped and not flat. If I wanted it to be flat, then I would need anywhere between, 10 to 15, depending on the stitch. PJ's here, by the way. Kaya says at least barley, and I assume other types of grain, is grown in Iceland now. I don't know about back then, but I expect it would be possible, and that they would try it.
Yeah, probably. There has been permanent population there. And I can't see, without bread, without beer, I can't see the Icelandic people working.
Hold the onions,
You
please.
can't live just off fermented shark.
Yeah, no, you can't. Let's see. It took me a while to work out what you meant by caramelize. In Britain, we pronounce it caramelize, or I'm probably saying that wrong too. But how does the Brits say? We say caramel. They say caramel, caramelize. Yeah, that would be it. Because I say caramelize, and they say yeah. I say. Speaking from a Minnesotan, I
We
say
don't have any time,
caramelize.
Brits, to test this on.
It's caramel, and if Greg would just get his ass here, he could tell you that no, it's caramel. We've had this talk before. It's is it French fries or is it chips? Is it? There's so many of them, but I think we've actually had the conversation about is it caramel or caramel? But I do say caramel. So
I don't understand why you lost colony of nitwits. You can't just use the Queen's English as it was intended by the Queen.
if you use the Lost Colony joke on something as big as HBO with Conan O'Brien, it no longer has an effect. Okay, we gotta play a little bit more needle binding here because we're getting at minute 51. Karl, you can drink some more beer. I'm having water. Okay, so
Where's my glass?
wherever you put it, dear, right there, actually. Okay, so here we are. This is my round start. The string is on the bottom. It has to be on the top. That's how I know which way is up. This one I'll just hold out of the way, and later, after a row, I'll tie it in. Okay, so I did one stitch. Now I need to do one more. You can pick up the back one and go that way. I think I have this really zoomed still. And then there's my next one. If I leave two on my thumb though, then I forgot to, I'm needle tensioning. I totally forgot about that. So I put the needle back in, needle tension. Karl, did you just burp?
Enthusiastically, yes.
Did it feel good?
Kind of did.
All right.
I think it is the foamy...
It might be the foamy beer. Yeah. And if you're one that likes to Nalbind flat, as we say, or without your thumb, you could do that as well. Let's see, I did 1, 2. This one needs an increase. Then you would just go through. Go through second to last loop and first loop. And then this one. And tighten. I think I'm zoomed. Yeah, I am. There we go. Then it's not so. And then my hands don't lose screen so much. So then I will go 3. The next 2 stitches without increase. Normally I would be increasing much more, but because I want it to be a pixie hat, sorry, it's almost wasp season here, as you can tell. Something was zooming by my head. And I want 2 thumb tension, or needle tension, sorry. That's 2, so in the third one I'm gonna go twice. I don't know why, maybe I do like to do this one flat. I catch it on my thumb, but then I'll take it off my thumb to work this one. 1, 2. There. Now I'll do 2 without an increase. Needle tension. 1. We're gonna do this stitch all week though, but we can maybe try with different variants if it depends how far I get on this hat. I still haven't finished the Omani hat, but that's because we're still in peak season and the stuff I have in the shop are selling too fast. So I need to, let's see, did I do 2? No, increased there, 1 there, 1 there, yep. So now increase in this one. There's my second loop. It's easier to keep it on my thumb when this thing gets a little bit bigger. This was increased, I keep forgetting. Increased 1, 2, no increase. This one needs to have 2. It's my third. Oh, I'm not used to this yarn anymore. I used to make so much stuff out of this yarn. Happy dog behind me. He's like the size of a rat.
I think the rat-sized one is reacting to the much, much bigger one that's on the other side of the house.
Oh, is there? Oh, the sheep?
It's not the sheep. It's a very skinny sheep, if that's the case. It's,
Oh, is there another dog over there? Yeah.
It's a grey, bigger dog.
2. This is York stitch. So it's because I'm trying to go in a cone. It doesn't seem to have much, but I'm needle tensioning it because this, if I didn't needle tension it, the stitches would be this big, way too loose. And I realized I forgot I was going to make a pixie hat. I'm making another one of these, so I don't want it to be too loose. So the way I was holding it though, this is the first loop, this is the second loop. But I'm trying to needle tension it, so if I put this second loop on my thumb, it'll stretch it out. So let's see, and I'm just increasing it every third still until it starts to go flat. So there's my new one. I'm doing F1, by the way. There's my second loop, so I go from behind and then behind, underneath, and then, oops, and I forgot to tension that to the needle, so we'll fake it a little bit. There we go. And I always lose my count. You can see there where it makes a V. That's got 2 stitches in the same hole, so that's one. And then I did one, and now this one needs to have one more in it because I'm increasing in every third. So old loop goes this way. There. But when it's this size, maybe it's, you can always pick this way too. You got your first loop, your second loop, and the yarn goes up. So here's my next loop. This is going to be once in this one. So I can pick up the first loop and the second loop and then keep that one up. That's kind of how I was doing it now, but when it gets bigger, it won't all be so tight in my hand. Then one, sorry, I missed it. Another way to make it tighter would be to do F2, but I didn't have the patience for F2, which is basically meaning you're connecting with one new and one old instead of just one new. And this one will have my increase. So there, first one, second one, and under that one. One, two. So there's a couple different ways to do it, but it's the same result each time. You are going this way under the first and second loop. So then one, so there's 2. I'm probably doing it too quickly now too, but remember you also got this on Lock and Tot too, and she's got really good videos. Let's see. But I want to split this wool. My wool is wanting to split. It's so soft. Okay, it's not unspinning for me, but I don't know if it's the way I hold my needle or I'm turning it upwards or the way I grab it. I'm not sure. But if it does, you can reintroduce the twist by twisting it back. And I forgot to thumb tension, or needle tension. Let's see. 1, 2, and the yarn goes over. Then I tension. That might have been an increase. Let's see. There was an increase, 2 and 1. 1, 2, this one needs an increase. So if you're horrible at counting like me or remembering count, it's good to recognize where the increases were. Okay, and yeah, one more. No, I did just increase there. There's 2 and 1. So I'll do one more little set and then we'll see how it's coning. Yeah, but with the slopey yarn, if you were to pull long pulls, eventually the yarn is going to get worn out and it'll start pulling apart. So you can get that one out of the way, short pulls. Like that. And I always lose my count. 1, 2. This is something I can't do in front of the customers as this part of the hat because I always lose my count and I have to keep checking. But at home, I have a bit more concentration. I'm watching the 90 Day Fiancé. My coworker Marie told me I had to watch it because we like trash TV. And oh my God, it is absolutely hilarious. We're gonna have to talk more about that another day. But the reason it's kind of interesting is she's also an import. She's from France, not from the United States, but actually was a 90 Day Fiancé. I didn't even think about that at the time because, you know, you always think of it as the ones going over to the US, but I went to Norway. But we were pretty well acquainted by then anyway. So my ex-husband and I, we had actually quite a bit of time together. But he was supposed to come to the United States as a student, but they found out we were engaged, which is apparently a big no-no. Didn't know that. So at the border, they refused him entry into the U.S. and said, You cannot come in unless you marry someone else, she marries someone else, or you haven't been together for a long period of time. But right now, we consider you a potential to immigrate, so you cannot. Because in Norway, the guys have an engagement ring too. Or traditional Norway, I should say. I don't know if they still practice that too much. But in 1997, it was. So anyway, I came to Norway instead. And we traveled around a bit around Norway and Sweden, visited my friends. We spent lots of hours in the car because we figured if you can handle being 16 hours in the car with somebody and not kill them, then maybe you're going to be okay for the next 15 years, which we were. then things went to hell. Anyway, but yeah, so ultimately when I came over, I was on a tourist visa, which you could do at the time, but you cannot anymore. That means I could be here up to 3 months before having to leave the country, but you could update a tourist visa at the time. And that means if we got married before I had to leave, I could change my visa to marriage. And then we applied as a wed married couple, had to go through kind of everything, and they determined whether or not I was fit to stay in the country. We were fit as a couple. We're not trying to scam Norway because USA is such a bad place in the 90s. But no, so allowed to stay, and here it was. So it's kind of funny to see this show because you kind of remember, you see all kinds of things. Yep, these people left everything they had, everything they knew, and then they came there. But you know, you kind of got to know what you're getting into too. So, but some people maybe should have spent more than 5 days getting to know each other before they got engaged. So my ex and I, oh, there you go. I pulled two. That's why you want to do short pulls. Okay, anyway, but I'll just have to splice it on. But now you can see the yarn is going as a cone. And eventually this is going to go flat. If I don't, it's not going to go quite flat yet, but soon it will go flat. If I want a bigger knob than that, that's what she thinks. Karl's giving me the look. Then I can start increasing every fourth or so but eventually it will flatten out. So you just have to decide how. So if it's starting to flatten out too soon, then I can go every fourth instead of every third on the increases. So this is what York looks like now. The wrong side, or technical wrong side, looks a bit like that. It's kind of felting in my hand, this yarn. But anyway, we've got all month to play with it. I'll show you how this hat goes next week. Madonna Bra. Yep. So anyway. Oh, PJ, I gave up on the fancy Armani stitch. I like the Armani name. The fancy Armani stitch, or Ormani. Last month I managed to get a stitch and didn't get any further. Yeah, no, that's why we're taking a break from brain farts and doing the York now, because York is kind of an easy one. Or Jorvik, as you wrote with a J. But this is the fancy Armani stitch. Omani. I like Armani. I'm going to call it the Armani stitch. Anyway, you know, I almost got on the round 3. But you can see how much it shrunk up there. Yeah, Karl?
Yeah, I have some more thoughts about chariots and Vikings.
Yeah? I'll come sit with you.
It is clearly a cultural thing for the Vikings, because in the mythology, both Thor and Freya has chariots.
Yeah.
So, dragged by goats and cats, respectively. So it's clearly a cultural thing. But the Viking area is more than just this. You don't necessarily live in a valley like this. So you might live on Jæren in the south of Norway. You might live anywhere in Denmark or in the flat parts of Sweden. And then a chariot isn't quite that dumb. You just need somebody to basically make you a road, or a road network, to get it anywhere. In warfare, chariots are older than cavalry, because even before people could ride horses, they could use them to drag chariots. But using chariots in warfare was considered obsolete even by Roman times. So when Julius Caesar is invading Britain and the British are still using chariots, they're basically going, these people are primitive. But it might be, even if you have a small farm, where you just have a tiny area that is flat enough to grow crops or onions or organic plants or whatever, it might be useful enough to have a chariot, even though you can only use it on your farm. You can't really get it anywhere. So it's not like your car, it's like your tractor. It might be useful enough, but it's odd. It's like I'm kind of Gudvangen centric. If I lived in Gudvangen, this is the last thing I would spend any kind of time and energy in making and moving around with. But if everybody considered me to be super cool, if I have the latest chariot with wood carvings and Heimdall's face on all the four poles, then maybe it would be worth a hassle. If people would come from far apart to just watch in awe as I drive past in my gilded chariot.
Maybe hand carved.
Yeah.
No, they carved everything. There's a lot of carvings in it. There's cats and snakes.
This is actually a super good question.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten this question from tourists as far as I remember.
No, I don't think I've ever had the horse-drawn carriage. So we're going to have to bring that one up again.
It's actually very good, and it gets my brain to go into all the nooks and crannies
That's a good question, then.
Of the area.
Yeah. So there's another one I got to get in here. Actually, I have two questions before we go, so we're a little over time. Jay, I had, let's see. There it is. I can't read that far away. Jory Corley's, I think it said a really good. Cortez said Kez had a good question. He said, but there's a lesson, in fact, that one was a queen, one was a servant, and now centuries later we can't tell which one was which. That's actually a pretty good lesson.
Yeah.
He also said, did the Vikings make beer from malted grain? That might run a little sweet. And I think he had a little bit of a follow-up on here. Useful to, this is on the carriage thing. Useful to get cargo shipside, I imagine. Might be most used by Steve Doris. I remember saying that wrong. To load and unload ships. In Hedeby, where there were a lot of carts used to transport all kinds of goods. As far as to the North Sea, there might have been chariots too, by the way. Okay, so you got two questions there.
No, these are not questions.
So
these are statements
bright?
of facts, and they're pretty good as far as that goes.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, Hedeby had boardwalks. So you basically have wooden roads in your town. And you can move carts around pretty effectively on that as long as you have somebody to scoop away all the poop. And yeah, it makes sense. You would use carts for a purpose like that. But then again, it's Denmark. So all you have to do to make a road is to fell some trees. And if somebody has already felled those trees to farm that area, then your road will just spontaneously appear as soon as you start going to your neighbor regularly.
What about sleighs used during the winter?
Yes.
Yep. They actually did find a sleigh.
Yeah,
they have one in the village, a copy
but
of one. Yeah.
That's the thing, because if the landscape is too rugged to make roads, as soon as the snow comes, and the snow comes in large quantities around here, it's flat. A sled can get you anywhere. If I remember correctly, Halvdan the Black went through the ice on a sled. But I'm not entirely sure. At least that's the mental image I have in my head. I don't think it would be heavy enough to do it on its own.
No. Did you see also, actually in the Birkebeiner movie, they also showed a sleigh.
Yeah, but that's after the Viking Age. But
Yeah, there was another one though. Did the Vikings make beer from malted grain? That might run a little sweet.
I am not entirely. I remember it said malted grain on this one. That's the
Oh,
one
it
that
was,
tasted caramelly.
It was Vibeke who made the amount.
They
Thing about it
actually say malted
that.
barley. That's what.
Yeah,
this
malted
means.
big. Yeah, is barley. Yeah. Hops.
But I don't know what malted is. I'm not an expert in beer. It's like
You got so much homework now.
I know what I like, and if you don't put lemon in it, I'll probably like it.
You like me?
And nobody put lemons in you, as far as I know.
Not yet. And then there's another thing, Karl. Which hand spends? You have two hands. Which one spends more time in the sun? Yeah. So Roger and Nolby are watching, and once upon a time, I told him that I get sun poisoning because we don't have that much sun in the north, as far as the south, and he thought I was making a joke. Sun poisoning? I've never heard of it. Karl, you have sun poisoning, or what we call sun poisoning. It's probably a form of eczema. So look at his hands. I don't know how well you can see. He has. Let's see if I can turn that down. There we. Nope, other way. He's been scratching this one a bit, and they look like little blisters. That's what we call sun poisoning in Minnesota. It just happens if you, for some reason, if the hand is in the sun too much anyway, you get like these little blisters and they start itching like mad, and I can't help but notice you had it. So, but the other hand is just fine.
Yeah.
So this happened one day. I was in Florida, which is very equatorial compared to Duluth. We were sitting at, I think I must have been 16 at the time. Anyway, at the in line, all these lines at Disney World. And for some reason, the way the lines were formed, my right hand was in the sun and then my left hand was out. You need to moisturize, says Roger. You do moisturize. Anyway, but yeah, so this hand was in the sun all the time, and it.
I don't know if spilling iced coffee on my hands counts as moisturizer.
That doesn't count as moisturizer, but that might help it to itch. No, so anyway, that's a little interesting fact there. I couldn't help but notice it. And no limes and mango in beer, says Audra. And Samantha says, I know what I like is a good philosophy. Okay, with that, we should probably get going. Do you know of any? I didn't check the calendar to see what's going on next Saturday. We should have a lot of Vikings again. I think we are actually almost fully booked for Vikings on Saturday night, but...
don't know anything about next Saturday.
No, I don't either. So they're...
You know that tomorrow we have Viking cruises and Disney at the same time, so I really should clone myself, but...
Disney loves him. They ask for him every time. And then... No, but that's always good. Anyway, so we should probably get going. So we'll play more with the York stitch. You can practice the pixie hat and see how it goes. It's literally just a round start hat. You could go from the bottom up too, but for some reason I think it's easier from the top down. But yeah, just start with less stitches, maybe almost a little less than half as many, or a little more than half the amount of stitches you would use for a flat start. And then just increase every third, and then maybe every fourth or so. But when you don't want it to be pointed anymore, then you have to increase enough to make it go flat. And then continue from there. Okay. Yep. No, anyway, so, and then PJ says, I used to get something similar, but it never itched. I eventually discovered it was sunscreen. Ah, yeah, but he doesn't use, you should use more sunscreen. Maybe that's it.
More than
None, yeah. Yep, no, I think it's a form of eczema, but we used to call that sunscreen. Or sun poisoning. So there you go, you have sun poisoning.
Yeah, no, my
I'll
father
take care of him. I'll take care of him.
My father
Because he knows what he likes. Go ahead. You were saying your father
is allergic to snow.
Your father's allergic to snow.
Yeah, not actually snow, but he is allergic to cold.
Yeah.
Every time it gets cold enough that water freezes, he starts sneezing for a day or two.
Ah.
So he has told all of his doctors that I think I'm allergic to snow. And all of them had told him he was a complete and utter lunatic. Until he finally got a doctor that says, yeah, no, you have cold allergy. It's not that unusual. Some people just start sneezing as soon as it gets below zero.
I knew a different kind of cold allergy, if you want to call it, but it's not really an allergy, but that's when they started losing color and feeling in their digits.
Are you thinking of frostbite?
Nope, it's an actual thing. Can't handle cold, it just stops circulating. I'll tell you about it later, but look it up. It's actually, I didn't realize that was a thing, but it makes so much sense. I know myself being so used to the cold anyway, if I'm out for a long period of time and then go in again, circulation starts moving, you start itching. Anyway, there you go, Raynaud syndrome. That's
your
what that was.
volunteers are migrating in that direction now.
Yep, they're doing archery. Oh, yeah, no, they're, yeah, that's because they're getting ready to have a gilda. So, yeah, that's definitely cue for us to go. But, see you next week. Oops, I put on the little filter thingy there on accident. There we go. Saturday, unless we say otherwise. Okay, I'm going to go and give him some cream. Bye.